Sunday, April 13th. In Albania, Italian forces launch an offensive against the Greeks in the south and take Kors, Permet, and Gjirokastër. Belgrade, the Yugoslav capital, is under the heel of Hitler's forces. It is the 8th European capital to be captured by the Germans in a year and a half. In Moscow, the Russian and Japanese delegations sign a 5-year friendship and non-aggression pact. It will allow Stalin to move his troops from Siberia to the western borders. At the official leave-taking of the Japanese Foreign Minister Yosuke Matsuoka at Kazan railway station, Stalin tells the German ambassador that the friendship between Germany and Russia must be lasting. Raising his voice, he exclaims, "In any case, we will continue being your friend." In the Mediterranean, planes from the Luftwaffe's 10th Fliegerkorps stationed in Sicily bomb Malta. In North Africa, in Libya, the Africa Corps retake what was the Italian fort of Capuzzo on their way to Egypt. Soon after this, they attack Sollum. British soldiers from the Coldstream Guards Battalion face the Axis forces in a fierce battle in temperatures of nearly 60 degrees. Rommel receives orders from the High Command in Berlin, telling him to temporarily halt his advance, consolidate his position, and take Tobruk. Monday, April 14th. Due to the violence of the German attack, the Yugoslav High Command orders its generals to surrender when they deem it necessary in order to avoid needless loss of life. However, Hitler orders his officers to devastate the country mercilessly and force an unconditional surrender. In northern Greece, panzer divisions reach Kozani in western Macedonia, 470 kilometers from Athens. After hard-fought battles with British forces, they cross the Alikmon River, while the Allies retreat to organize a defensive line in the hills of Mount Olympus. In Moscow, Stalin orders the western military districts to prepare for war. In North Africa, the 5th Panzer Regiment of the Africa Corps attempts to break through the defenses at Tobruk in the early morning. The Allied forces react promptly and force General Johann Streich and his light division to withdraw, after losing 17 tanks in 20 minutes. An impatient Rommel is being forced into a positional war, contrary to his preferred strategy. The Desert Fox desperately looks for a way to take the ancient port, which is vital to maintain his supply lines. For the moment, he has lost General Heinrich von Privitz, commander of the 15th Panzer Division, and the Allies have resisted his assaults. Tuesday, April 15th. In Yugoslavia, the Italian forces occupy Split, Spalato, on the Adriatic Sea. The Duce's troops are greeted by the Italian-speaking minority of the city. To the east, Sarajevo is being placed under siege by the Wehrmacht. In Greece, German troops attack the New Zealand forces in Platamon, in central Macedonia, 50 kilometers from Larissa, near Mount Olympus. To the northwest, a detachment of the Waffen-SS occupies Kastoria on the western shore of Lake Orestiada, taking 11,000 prisoners from the Greek army and seizing a large amount of weaponry. Near Rovno, in the Ukraine, Soviet soldiers find a German plane that has carried out a forced landing. When they examine the aircraft, they discover cameras and topographical maps of the region. In North Africa, Rommel's troops reach the Halfaya Pass on the border between Libya and Egypt. The German advance has been overwhelming, but the British are putting up fierce resistance in the outskirts of Solom, while at Tobruk, the Italian infantry, supported by tanks, attempts an unsuccessful attack against the city's defenses. Wednesday, April 16th. In the Battle of Britain, Luftwaffe aircraft carry out heavy attacks on London. More than 2,300 people die, and St. Paul's Cathedral suffers serious damage. The Germans continue their unstoppable march across Greece. The Platamon, the Wehrmacht troops, flanked by tanks, launch a new offensive against the Aliakmon line. The Allied forces withdraw and attempt to build a new line of defense in the valley of the River Pineos, north of Larissa. British and Anzac forces, commanded by Colonel Mackey, try everything to stop the German advance, entrenching themselves in the numerous monasteries of the region, which now become targets for the German planes. Hitler has ordered his generals not to bomb Athens. Meanwhile, Marshal Alexandros Papagos, conscious of the collapse of the Allied armies, suggests to the British commanders that their troops should leave Greece in order to put an end to the bloodshed. General Henry Maitland Wilson informs him that he intends to withdraw his forces to Thermopylae. In Yugoslavia, the Germans occupy Sarajevo and march on Dubrovnik. In the Mediterranean, Royal Navy ships attack an Italian convoy off the Tunisian coast and sink 5 merchant ships and 3 escort destroyers. Thursday, April 17th. In Belgrade, the Yugoslav government surrenders unconditionally. The Yugoslavs are represented by the Foreign Minister, Sinkar Markovi, and General Mijiko Jankovic. The Germans by General Maximilian von Weich, and Italy by Colonel Luigi Bonfatti. The country is put under German military authority, except for the puppet state of Croatia. The casualties during the invasion amount to 350,000. The Wehrmacht has suffered losses of 150 men. However, around 200,000 Yugoslav soldiers have not surrendered and have managed to evade the Germans. They formed the Yugoslav army in the fatherland, the Chetniks, founded by Colonel Dragoljub Mihailovic. Some of them will fight the invaders alongside the partisans of Josip Broz Tito. Another faction of the Chetniks, however, will fight the communist revolutionaries with German support. Italian troops take Dubrovnik on the Adriatic Sea coast. Meanwhile, King Peter II and his government arrive in Crete on board a British plane. Berlin is heavily bombed by RAF aircraft in retaliation for the latest attack against London. The Luftwaffe drops thousands of incendiary bombs over the English city of Portsmouth. In North Africa, several Stutka squadrons attack the port of Tobruk. Friday, April 18th. In Greece, Wehrmacht troops cross the Alikmon River, skirt the hills of the mythical Mount Olympus, and invade Larissa. The Greek and British troops are thus divided. Several units of the Greek army suffer a severe defeat after facing the 1st SS Leibstandarte Adolf Hitler Division, commanded by General Joseph Sepp Dietrich, who continues advancing westwards towards Ioannina. Meanwhile, the Allies withdraw to Thermopylae in the south. In Athens, Greek Prime Minister Alexandros Korzis commits suicide. King George becomes the temporary head of state. France withdraws from the League of Nations. 118 RAF bombers fail in their attempt to launch a massive attack against Berlin after a number of them are shot down by German anti-aircraft fire and Luftwaffe fighter planes. In Moscow, Stalin orders the number of troops on the western border to be increased. In Iraq, a British brigade arrives in Basra near the Persian Gulf with the aim of toppling the pro-German general Rashid Ali and his regime. In North Africa, in Libya, the young German pilot Hans-Joachim Marseille, who is destined to become one of the Luftwaffe's flying aces, arrives at the base of Ain el-Ghazala, from where the special version of the Bf-109E-4N aircraft will carry out its sorties against the Allies.